You're listening to Your Brain on Air. The program will begin shortly. Enjoy. Zure garuna entzuten ari zara zuzenean, programa laster hasiko da, gozatu.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Your Brain on Air. I am your host, Ollie Vogt Larson. And Holocaust Remembrance Day? How about Rwandan Genocide Remembrance Day? Oh yeah, sorry, we don't fight their wars or prosecute their detractors on college campuses. I get it, that doesn't really make sense. Right, well, whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. We are honored to be back with you in the studio. It's a beautiful day. I'm excited. I'm hyped to be here with you. We actually have an important question. This is Wise Question Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. Wise Question Wednesday. We're starting it off with a very wise question. What should you do personally if someone catches you masturbating?
If you get caught jerking off and you stop, that's embarrassing for you.
But if you keep going,
Then it becomes embarrassing for them, especially if you keep
dude, I mean, now
He's questioning everything about himself. That's what building a personal brand is like. If you stop halfway, you just look pathetic. If you keep going long enough, everyone else gets uncomfortable for even doubting you.
Bam! Ladies and gentlemen, take that energy into this week. If you just keep going, if you continue with what you're doing because, God damn it, it's your God-given right to do what you want to do, eventually people will look stupid for judging you for doing it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the thing. I can't wait. It's a great Wednesday. I was almost about to say that it's Monday, but you know what I mean? The letter M is on my mind a lot. Minneapolis, Minnesota, Monday, it's ridiculous. I hope that you're all having a great not start to your week, middle of your week, start to the end of your week, because it's all downhill from here. That's what we like to say. I mean, we got a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about. We can obviously talk about Ilhan Omar. She had a little incident with a spritzer, an unknown substance, at a town hall meeting. You know what? Forget it. In the meantime, I'm going to just, let's get into it with the transition music. Go! Chaotic moment has unfolded, ladies and gentlemen, with an unknown substance being sprayed on Ilhan Omar at a town hall. Trump has also shifted his tone on the killing of Alex Preddy, among the other issues we've had in Minneapolis as of late. Ladies and gentlemen, there's been so much going on. From Renee Good to the ICE incidents to Alex Preddy to all of the Somalis stealing stuff, and it's not my fault if this community comes into the state and begins to take everything that's not bolted to the ground. Listen, if I'm just the person who calls it out, I don't know. That doesn't make me racist. It makes you kind of ignorant for not noticing. That's all I can say. And people are having their reactions. People are either I'm hoping people are learning from that incident with Renee that blocking traffic is not a good means of protest, but people they've found other means to protest. For example, we have this one woman. It looks like a neighborhood not too far from other incidents that have been happening in Minneapolis. And this was a teenager, they crashed a car in this woman's neighborhood. They were trying to flee from the immigration officers during apparently a confrontation, and then a Minneapolis woman, witnesses apparently saw this teenager just crash a car and then flee on foot. And they started, as you would assume, because obviously if a teenager crashes a car in my neighborhood, I don't know anything about the situation. Clearly that kid might be a danger to the public. So obviously, as a thinking person, you're going to go try to free him. You're going to go try to stop the agent. And that's what this Good Samaritan does, ladies and gentlemen. She grabs her rape whistle, which apparently everybody's been grabbing you see these people, they all have videos of whistles, and it's ridiculous. But let's take a look.
God. No!
Blow harder.
Stop!
She's screaming at him to stop. They got him on the ground and they handcuff him, and then the woman is standing behind the Border Patrol agent, the ICE agent, excuse me, because this is clearly, you can see by his vest, it's immigration enforcement. Keep going harder. Maybe he'll stop. And then they pull him into a car. Yeah, free him! Free the kid who's crashed his car!
I was sitting in my living room and I saw this
Oh, she's a tubby. She's a tubby one. You can always tell they got the two chins. Listen, no judgment here. You can see a lot of nasty people on the right who have that sort of a look to them. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's America. Everybody has poor nutrition. It's just a fact. Everybody's eating the gabagool, as Tony Soprano would say. But this woman, she's clearly, I think she doesn't leave that. I think this is the most she's left the house in the last few months, in all honesty, because she seems like the type.
Hit the tree. And as soon as they hit the tree, the car doors fling open and two teenagers come running out. So I run outside, grab my whistle, and I start sprinting down the block.
To help them.
Try to find them. They're nowhere to be seen. They're running through backyards, and all of a sudden they come out.
Yes, because those seem like teenagers with nothing to hide.
And the teenager comes and he yells for help. Help me, help me, help me. And the ICE agent ends up coming, running, and tackling him in the middle of the street. Pins him down, is speaking to him in Spanish, trying to get him to calm down, and then he arrests him.
Seems like a good ICE agent if he could speak Spanish. Damn, that's a rough crash. Okay, they show...
Awful!
Oh, she's...
Absolutely awful, and for it to be happening in Minneapolis is just so heartbreaking, but also it is so unifying. Because I know that if there's any community that is going to show up in absolutely frigid temperatures and really...
be gullible.
The middle finger is Minneapolis.
Yes, I actually would wholeheartedly agree. That's why Black Lives Matter keeps funding operations in this city, because that's why. They know that this city is particularly vulnerable to the people who are, bleeding hearts. They're people who they'll lay down their life for people who would be willing to steal your tax dollars. It's just a fact. I don't know what else to say. It's unfortunate. No one is saying, some people are saying that they're satisfied with the way the ICE operations have been going, but I'm not. So you can't hold that charge against me. You can't. I'm sorry, I'm not one of those people, but a lot of you would like me to be one of those people, so I'm easier to hate. I'm nuanced, so, if you hate me, that just shows that you're intellectually dishonest or unwilling to look in deeper. That's okay. Listen, could this situation have ended differently? Did they have to slug this guy in the back of the head with a round? I don't think so. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody's making that argument. A chaotic scene then unfolded at a local town hall. If you didn't already know, it involved the representative Ilhan Omar. The congresswoman was addressing a crowd. An unidentified man, unidentified at the time of the writing of this article, she was approached by a guy, and he sprayed her with a syringe full of some strange liquid. She appeared shaken. She didn't she didn't freak out or anything like that. I will admit this. She seemed ready for it in a weird way, because she charged. You can see from the video, she charges at the man yelling at her, which admittedly to me, I go, okay, I don't think... I understand that maybe your instinct is telling you to do that. I don't know any person who would then, after being sprayed with potentially acid, charge the man who just did that. Maybe she's a fighter. Maybe she's a real fighter.
ICE cannot be reformed. It cannot be rehabilitated. We must abolish ICE for good.
Wrong.
And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment. I don't know.
I love how a lot of them don't react.
I need a napkin to know nothing.
He sprayed something. It smells terrible. I love the accents on display.
No. You're fine. You need to go get checked. No, we will continue this. I'm not going to get away with it. You need to go get checked. No, I don't know what.
If she wants to keep going, let her keep going.
Whatever this smells so bad, she needs to go get checked. I don't know that's what they want.
Give her a tad pin. Give her a tad pin.
About your safety. No, he sprayed police. You need to go get checked. Yeah, and it smells terrible. We're gonna keep talking. Just give me 10 minutes.
King shit, good for her for continuing the press conference. I think that was a pretty baller move, in all honesty. I gotta give her credit. I don't agree with her on a lot of her policies, but damn, to keep that press conference going for, I think it was another 10 minutes solidly. And then she goes out and she's like, I survived a war. I should be fine with just a little intimidation. And I go, that's pretty badass of you. Good on ya. That kind of terrifies me though, because that means that she's willing to die for her cause, which, that's absolutely, I gotta respect her for that. I have nothing but respect on her name for this moment. Unless, of course, this turns out to be a Jussie Smollett thing. It's not a shooting, so I feel like it's harder to, it would be easier to fake, you know what I mean? But I'm not gonna throw out that criticism, because that guy, he looked like a Republican. I'm sorry. I judge people for looking like liberals. I have to judge people for looking like Republicans. He had the build, he had the face. I'm sorry.
Overnight, President Trump telling ABC News in a late-night phone call he believes his administration can still finish its immigration enforcement operations in Minnesota in a, quote, de-escalated form. The president telling me in an exclusive interview, we'd like to finish the job and finish it well, and I think we can do it in a de-escalated form. A lot of the hardest work is already done. The president praising his administration's efforts on the ground. Amid a shakeup in leadership in Minnesota, I asked the president what the American people can expect to be different, with Borders Czar Tom Homan now in charge instead of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem.
She was never a great face for this operation. I hated her when I had to fly last year. It was August, and I was at the Fargo Airport, Minneapolis, and Cincinnati Airport. And every single time that I was near the getting checked zone, I would have to deal with her every 5 minutes telling me that I needed my real ID. Naturally, I didn't have one. They still let me fly, admittedly. My name is Ali, and they still let me fly, I will just say that. The Trump administration clearly doesn't care enough about their flight, safety. If they let someone with that name fly in, with no real ID. It's crazy.
The president suggested there would be a more relaxed approach. We've taken out the largest part of the bad, really bad people, the president said, adding, so we can start doing maybe a little bit more relaxed. It's a notable change in tone by the president, who just months ago said this.
I think they haven't gone far enough.
The president would not say when
they haven't gone far enough on the numbers. Actually, I agree. You've been dwarfed. I'm sorry, by Obama's deportation numbers. I'm saying okay, and a lot of people are gonna go, this is a controversial statement. I don't think it is. I have a great issue with ICE because they're A, being too aggressive with their tactics, and B, not deporting enough people. I don't think they're getting enough people out. Listen, I have no issue with someone who came here, had overstayed their visa, for whatever reason. If they are here illegally, if they are here and they hop the line and they're enjoying the privileges of the American experience that a lot of people who are in line are being denied right now, kick their ass out. I don't want to see them. I'm sorry. That's a fact, and I've always felt that way. That's just how it is. So I have no issue with the actual deportation of these people. I've always been in favor of a remain in Mexico. I've always been in favor of sending people back to where they came from. I want them to be deporting more numbers because it has been millions that have come over the border over the last few years. It has been millions that have ingratiated themselves and were shipped literally on buses by Ron DeSantis up to liberal cities and whatnot. That's how Republicans got revenge on Democrats for letting the flood come in. They began to bus them up to Democratic cities like New York, Massachusetts, whatever, Boston. That's my point. This is a trackable trend. This is something you can observe. You can actively see it in your daily life if you go out and try to witness it. I will say, also, it is ridiculous that polling places are one of the protected spaces from ICE agents. That apparently means, according to the government's own suspicion, there are enough illegal people in voting places to where you could launch a raid by ICE agents on a polling station and find illegals. According to their own logic, polling places are full of enough illegals to, like schools, like churches and everything, to the point that you could launch a raid and actively find one or two in any polling place. That's why their opinion is it needs to be a protected space. I don't know. That's their words, not mine. Their words, not mine.
Would leave Minnesota, saying he's asking the governor to hand over criminals. The president telling me when they're out, and there will be a time coming in the not-too-distant future, then we go on to something else, leaving the door open to other states. The administration under fierce scrutiny after Border Patrol agents shot and killed Alex Preddy, an ICU nurse. Top officials quick to blame.
I think instead of getting federal agents out there, I will propose this. If I'm elected president of the United States, here's what we're going to do. We're going to abuse the sheriff system in a very similar way that the Obama administration did, except I'm going to go through police individual agencies. I'm going to go town by town. I'm going to go sheriff by sheriff, and I'm going to institute the largest door-by-door campaign to check people's papers, because if anything, they will have them at home. Or if you do not actively have them present to show to an agent, you have 6 months at the very most to produce that information. Otherwise, you're coming with us to a camp. You're coming with us to somewhere where we can verify you. You at least have a social security number that you can give us. You have something. And if you don't have it, get in the van. I'm sorry to say it. This thing, it's not wide enough, it's not big enough, and it's not actively catching enough of them. They are hiding among neighborhoods, they are hiding in apartment buildings, and you have to go door by door with the personal city's police force. That way, they can not say, oh, this is the federal government rounding people up. This is individual towns and cities rounding up their own illegals and then sending them to a greater holding facility that is for every individualized state. And I think that if we institute this practice where, say, after we figure out you're here illegally, we grab you, we put you to the back of the line. That's how it goes, back of the line. You hop the fence and you broke the law, you're going to the back. That's how it works, and that's how it's going to work. We revamp our immigration court system so we can actually move people through it. We institute a thing where we gotta onboard more judges. We gotta get more students training to look at immigration cases. That's my whole administration would be around the idea that immigration in this country has gotten out of hand. The circular flow idea that a lot of people from the Clinton administrations wanted to institute and wanted to keep around, that can't work. And it was a fantasy then, and it didn't work at the time. But it was the populations of each country were low enough to where honestly the effects weren't bad enough. But we're dealing with a population explosion in a lot of other countries. So I'm sorry to say it, that is exactly what Trump needs to do here if he wants any meaningful change, and if he wants people to actively support the deportation of illegal immigrants, which, by the way, is a 90-10 issue. Most Americans agree that you should deport people who are here illegally.
37-year-old Stephen Miller labeling Preddy an assassin. And Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem saying Preddy committed an act of domestic terrorism. Earlier in the day in Iowa, the president did not disavow those comments, telling me Preddy, who was a legal gun owner, should not have been armed, calling the incident very unfortunate.
Do you agree with the assessment from some of your own officials that Alex Preddy is a domestic terrorist or an assassin?
Well, I haven't heard that, but certainly he shouldn't have been carrying a gun.
Video evidence so far shows he never drew or even reached for his weapon. Several gun rights groups dismissing the president's notion.
Gotta love the
National
NRA.
Rifle Association saying all law-abiding citizens have a right to keep and bear arms anywhere they have a legal right to be.
Fuck yeah.
And this morning, Senators Tom Tillis and Lisa Murkowski becoming the first Republicans to call on Noem to step down.
I've lost confidence in her.
She's got to make her own decision, or the president does, but she has taken this administration into the ground on an issue that we should
She has.
The president defending Noem, telling me she's done a fantastic job.
She hasn't. I'm
Attacking
sorry.
Republican senators.
I know he wants to defend the people in his administration. She's got to go. She has to go. You need someone who is a operator, who has a decent public profile. You need someone like Tom Homan, though, who doesn't give a shit what people think about him. You can't have someone who's been up here who has 15 head surgeries in order to make herself look young again. You can't have somebody who's egotistical, because then they're going to be extremists. They're going to be the least mindful individuals. You need someone who's just kind of like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to come to work probably not wearing a tie.
And them, quote, losers, stating they're terrible senators. One is gone, and the other should be gone. Tillis, of course, is not running for re-election. Stephen Miller, the president's top advisor, did travel with him to Iowa. In a statement to ABC News, he said initial statements from DHS were based on reports from Border Patrol agents on the ground and suggested the administration is now reviewing whether there was a breach of protocol in this incident, Robin.
Insightful reporting from you as always. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you, Rachel. Yes, Christy, if you want to do your party any service, step down. Come on home. Come home to South Dakota. You know, you probably won't get the warmest welcome. I was talking, bitch. My next clip just tried to play when I was talking. All right, anyways, I guess it wants to be talked about that badly. Ladies and gentlemen, bananas and rice.
So I'm
I'm Somali. I'm proud to be Somali. To me, being Somali isn't just eating bananas with rice.
Really?
It's a lot. It's like it's an interesting thing. It's very hard to describe what it means to be Somali and what it means to be American. But
Really?
it's like a cultural fusion. It's kind of like the bananas and rice.
Yeah.
You know, people don't really see, like, you know, it's you know, people don't think, oh, you can eat bananas with rice, but that's what it's like to be Somali and American. It's like
Really?
that combination of banana and rice, but you're gonna get what I mean.
Yeah, I get exactly what you mean, sweetie. That was a beautiful press conference moment. I think that this was from St. Paul, 23-year-old Nasra Ahmed. She was describing Somali American culture. It's like a fusion of bananas with rice, which, I mean, I personally, I don't think that it sounds very good. But does that make me racist? It might. It really might. In our final bit that we're going to cover from the Twin Cities, because it's full of news, the Rebel Loon is becoming the most popular request at tattoo shops in the Twin Cities. This is the most cringe shit I've seen in my life, and I would love to stand on this hill till I die. A lot of tattoos are gay and lame because a lot of people give no thought into what they really mean. A lot of people, and unfortunately, it's like a trend. I know that Pete Davidson, he reversed the trend by getting all of them removed, but the damage was done. He did King of Staten Island when he had all those tattoos, so the cultural influence is already out there. Like enough 20-year-old junkies think that it's perfectly fine to tat up their body, and they can do that, and I have no judgment towards them, except for the fact that it doesn't look good most of the time. It actually looks really bad, but I love it. I think that it's cool that a lot of people do it. I think, but if you sleeve shit out, that's, or if you do a tattoo that has like a really silly meaning, then I think that everybody can get behind the idea that tattoos are gay and lame. I'm sorry, you're not a Maori warrior who had like the tap style tattoo done to you like they show in Moana. You didn't have that. You're not a warrior. You sat and you had some fucking skinhead, put a needle against your arm for 45 minutes or however long. I don't know how long tattoos take because I'm never going to get one, in all honesty.
The weather hasn't stopped people from visiting the memorial for Alex Preddy on Nicollet Avenue. Many people are upset by not one, but two fatal shootings in this community. Some people do say they are hopeful, though, that things are trending towards peace. Others are choosing to wear that hope on their sleeve.
I would like to wear that hope on my sleeve by performing a performance real quick. This is Fun 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 by the Beach Boys, performed in honor of the fallen hero and icon of the Twin Cities, Renee Good. Well, she's got her daddy's car and she cruised through the hamburger stand now. Seems she forgot all about the library like she told her old man now. And with the radio blasting, goes cruising just as fast as she can now. And she'll have fun, fun, fun till her daddy takes the T-Bird away. Do you think she called her girlfriend daddy? That was just a question. That's like an ace now. She makes the Indy 500 look like a Roman chariot race now. A lot of guys try to catch her, but she leads them on a wild goose chase now. And she'll have fun, fun, fun till her daddy takes the T-Bird away. Drive, baby, drive. That was for you, Renee. It's better than the song that I had for George Floyd. Watch it in slow motion as you turn around and say, take my brother away. Oh, I love this song. Take my brother away. That one's for you, George. Love you.
Photojournalist Nick Luneman and Jason Rantala show us the online design that is becoming a popular pick at tattoo parlors.
Of
What
course.
started as a sign of resistance, showing up as profile photos across platforms.
Oh, goofy.
I was having a very emotional day that day.
And
oh, this poor guy. I was having a very emotional day that day. Okay, so this bald guy, I'm going to put this clip in the description because everybody deserves to see this. He is sitting in his room. It's decorated with Star Wars and toys and just memorabilia from like kid shows. And like I go, okay, your media literacy hasn't advanced very far. You know what I mean? I'm not seeing any Dostoevsky. I'm not seeing any Greek philosophy back there on those shelves. I see just like a lot of nerd shit, and this just seems like a dork in his room. He seems like me in 2019, 2020. You know what I mean? Just like peak George Floyd Ollie, who was like ready to go out in the streets and die for an illegal immigrant who would stab me in the neck.
Decided that I needed to do something to mark the moment.
Has now started showing up on skin. The image is called the Rebel Loon, Minnesota's state bird inside a symbol many will recognize.
From
spread like wildfire.
Tattoo artists across the Twin Cities say they've been seeing it more and more.
Oh my god.
Like, this is iconic. This is so inspiring. I got chills the first time I saw it.
For people like Jessica Haug, the design represents home and hope.
Loons are graceful, beautiful. They're also powerful.
So
powerful
it got Sean Cardell's attention.
It's a unification of the two symbols. You've got the rebellion symbol that me, especially as a Gen X kid,
a Gen X kid. I watch Star Wars, and I, for some reason, haven't been able to find anything that's quite as interesting as that lore universe. Like, Jesus Christ, read Dune.
Star Wars in 1977 when I was 5. It's a symbol I have grown up with.
Of course
it is.
It's
now one symbol of many. Phoenixes and meadowlarks adopted state by state.
Watching
for
all of
cringe.
these other people in other states starting to repeat it with their own state birds.
This past weekend, Gothic Night turned ink into action, fundraising more than $6,000.
We have time and we have skill, and we have art to share. We had
Oh, for
150 people
cringe.
show up that we did not anticipate, which is a wonderful.
They get this and they go, by the way, the most either like Norwegian or the most like racially ambiguous guy you know in your life gets this tattoo. He is like it's big bearded fellas or it's guys that have like what's it called? I'm trying to picture it in my head. Whatever. You get my image that I'm painting. And they have it sleeved right up on the upper bicep and they're like, fucking, I got this during the second Trump administration. Or should I say the second Hitler administration? Now I show this shit off to let everybody know that I'm a rebel.
A problem to have.
But for the people getting the tattoos, this isn't about money.
Realistically, you don't commit to putting something on your skin forever.
Oh my god, it's right there. It's evident. It's always them. It's always them. It's the woman, and I'm sorry, and this is just like, I'm sorry. This is just proven by science. If you have a man or woman, if you have a piercing in your nose, the bull style piercing where it hangs in between your nostrils and it's like that, you are always way too far either right or left. It's a theory that I've been testing the waters for. It's either skinheads or it's they thems. It's never one in between. You never see a banker with a bull nose piercing in, I don't even know what the fuck that tissue's called.
If it's just to cosplay.
You seem like your whole life is cosplay because your whole face looks like you would be stuck to a wall if I magnetized it.
Looking, it's a way to find each other.
We have friends everywhere. We are not alone.
Like the loons call across the water, hope travels fast. In Minneapolis with photojournalist Nick Luneman, Jason Rantala, WCCO News.
I love it. I think it's great, and if this inspires people, I mean, if it gives people a sense of pride, and they're like less worried about the world as a result of this, I mean, go for it. I think that's great. I think it's really wonderful. I also think that people should be aware of things like this.
Conflict in the United States may be evolving into a new stage. Leftists don't seem complacent with just blowing their whistles to their heart's content anymore. Alleged leaked chats show that they're organizing armed groups of 4 to 6 people in various locations across Minneapolis and through various organizations. We saw large-scale demonstrations in Minneapolis today with people making massive barricades and lighting dumpster fires. One demonstration was deemed an unlawful assembly. Armed members of the John Brown Gun Club are already out in the streets in full kit. People online have started chatter discussing violence again.
When are we going to be the ones to ambush them?
One man, a so-called Antifa general who has a tattoo to prove it, is saying that it's pastime for people to violently resist the government.
There's nothing fun to chant about it. Get your fucking guns and stop these fucking people.
This man also likes to dress up in women's clothing and post it on social media.
I do this all year.
He looks pretty.
Like this.
Minnesota's Ice Watch and Protect 612, the same organizations that Nicole Good belongs to and what she was doing when she was shot, are led by Amanda Noel Kohler, a Tim Walz campaign strategist and pseudo-government official going by the codename HAH. I believe the situation in the United States could easily get out of hand.
Well, it may. It may. I really hope that. Listen, if Tim Walz does have a friend who is fomenting a little bit of chaos on the streets, I'll call on Tim Walz. Maybe evaluate the social circle, just as Trump needs to reevaluate the social circle. I mean, overturn it. I'm just sorry to say it. I don't know how he managed to pick. Listen, Kash Patel's rhetoric around the Epstein files. Admittedly, he was like a truthist. He was like, I'm gonna reveal everything the moment I get through those doors. And then he clammed up the moment he saw him. And I'm sorry to say it, he was a failure. He was a failure, but from the outset, he looked like he might do a decent job, but whatever. I'm just saying, if you're a politician, look into who you have in your social circle. Don't have a Sea Weaver, don't have a Kristi Noem. These people will only drag you down. They will only make you look worse. Fuck it, whatever. Let's go into our next story. The winter storm, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's not as bad as everybody thought it would be, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of people left their house and they were like, oh, it's like an inch. Maybe there's frost or whatever. But, if your state's infrastructure sucks, then you're out of power. Then you're cooked if you're Texas. But otherwise, a lot of people are just they're huddling up. They're chilling at home. And Zohran Mamdani, he just faced his major first governing hurdle, as we all are aware. The first massive winter storm that was across the 5 boroughs with up to 15 inches of snow. I mean, if you don't know, for how you handle snowstorms, it's pretty important if you live in the Northeast. You got to be a decent mayor at plowing the streets. You got to get those kids to school or people are going to be pissed. I'm sorry to say it. Early feedback is already suggesting New Yorkers are giving him high remarks for his visibility, his hands-on approach. He was also seen across the city throughout Sunday, ditching his suit for a heavy winter gear, helping residents dig out their cars in Brooklyn, personally thanking sanitation crews on the front lines. Good for him. Listen, if you got to give Zohran Mamdani one thing, he will be a generational candidate. You got to give him this. His policies, ridiculous. His actual ability to deal with tough questions, not the best. But his public persona, his giggly face that he can put on for the camera, and the rolling up his sleeves and checking out people's rotting apartment buildings in South Brooklyn and whatnot, people like that image. And admittedly, it's appealing to a lot of folks. He's a little bit of a populist in many ways, and I don't think people want to give him that credit. But yeah, let's just get into it. NBC New York.
It's really been the first major test for the Mamdani administration here in the city. So, did the mayor's response make the grade for New Yorkers? News 4 government affairs reporter Melissa Russo has been asking that question, and she's live in the newsroom with what she found. Hey, Melissa.
Hey, Adam. Mayor Mamdani declined to grade himself today, but as New Yorkers all know, the handling of snow can make or break a mayor. Today, Mayor Mamdani seemed to think he passed the first major test, in part because the city says 80% of the students who are...
Tim Mahoney, mayor of Fargo, and mayor of Moorhead. What is her name again? Mayor name. Shelley Carlson. Yeah, that's you. Shelley Carlson. Your road conditions were horrible. You're both disgraces of mayors. Sorry to say it. Come on the show, though.
Were expected to take part in remote learning today managed to log on without too much difficulty.
Every street in the city was plowed.
Sounding proud that streets were plowed and that remote schools seemed to exceed expectations.
Good morning, class.
Mayor Zohran Mamdani logging in to read the book Snowy Day with 5th graders from PS 182.
The snowball wasn't there. He felt very sad.
Speaking of snowballs...
What I hate is when politicians do this shit. You saw that George Bush did this on 9/11. I hate when adults go and read books to children. Like, you want children to be literate? What are you doing? This is just so cringe. It's so, fake. I'm sorry to say, Republican or Democrat, stop reading to children. You want them to be like not? You want them to be literate and not working? Do you believe in this country? Excuse you? We need coal miners. We don't need them to be wasting their time, filling their heads with nonsense like Little House on the Prairie books.
The mayor's message to any students mad they had to attend remote school instead of playing in the snow?
They could pelt me in the face with a snowball. They were very excited about that and asked for a time and place.
And our passwords are in our red folder. Yes?
Riley Rothermel, a first grader at the River School, says, "What's so bad about remote school anyway?"
It is better than actual school. We have a very short schedule.
I thought it went better than I expected. It was definitely more parent-led than teacher-led, but the teacher had a schedule.
It's boring.
Catholic school students had a snow day, relieved they did not have to log on.
Hell yeah.
But they were asked to help others.
You have to do
Yeah, they were relieved that they didn't have to go in and get sexually assaulted that day.
things like cleaning the sidewalks and helping your neighbors, because you can't just do nothing on a snow day.
I will leave it to New Yorkers to give me a grade.
A grade.
You're giving him an A?
Yes.
Tell me what you think he did well.
He cleaned the snow because I had a lot of snow in Queens.
The storm is not over, so an A would be, ridiculous.
City officials say snow or no snow, many city public schools had already planned to be closed today for a teacher development day, making the 375,000 students who did log on to learn today a pretty solid number. And the UFT, which is the union that represents teachers, gave Mamdani an A grade. And Adam, one final thing, whether you prefer to be remote or have a snow day on a day like today, tomorrow, kids will have to go back to school because the mayor announced that they will return tomorrow to in-person learning in New York City public schools.
All right, fun. If he can handle the snow well, maybe he can get the homeless off the streets, Maybe he's not going to have to barricade them off and make them invisible when China comes to visit, kind of like what California does a lot of the time. It's fine. I have no judgment. They can organize their city how they'd like to. I love it. Whatever. I think we should just go ahead and let's get into the rapid fire section of today's headlines. There was a lot of shit that happened over the last few days that I haven't been able to cover either in paragraphs or in the rapid fire section of yesterday, so let's just hop into it. We have a video that I'll leave in the description, why not? It shows the moment a local Philippine, as in the Philippines, mayor was targeted with an RPG. Holy shit. My guy shot a rocket while wearing flip-flops. Local government said Mayor Ahmed Mitra Ampatuan was unharmed in the attack. It looked like that rocket hit the side of his car, so I'm surprised that he's okay. That's just shocking. Whatever. In other weird news, the Doomsday Clock, if you all know what that is, the bulletin of the Atomic Scientists, apparently this organization, they drop a nothing burger every year, which is basically this kind of warning to Americans, the world, that we're getting closer to Doomsday, and because of either technology or tensions between countries, they announced that it is 84 seconds to midnight. This is apparently the closest that it's been in a while. How close have we come to midnight? That's my question. How close have we come to midnight? Boom. Yep, this is the closest that it's ever been. 85 seconds to midnight. Who gives a shit? They're lying. I'm not even gonna, let's watch this. Play the audio.
It is the determination of the Bulletin's Science and Security Board that humanity has not made sufficient progress on the existential risks that endanger us all. We thus move the clock forward. The Doomsday Clock is a tool for communicating how close we are to destroying the world with technologies of our own making. The risks we face from nuclear weapons, climate change, and disruptive technologies are all growing. Every second counts, and we are running out of time. This
is maybe the dumbest shit ever. I'm sorry. It never comes true. They move it back. They've moved it back to like 2 minutes before. The closest we've ever gotten to midnight was before this was about 90 seconds during the 1950s. And if you're saying that now is a more tense time, like via the nuclear exchange, more so than that peak moment in the Cold War, I think you're ridiculous. I'm sorry. I can't trust these people. I never could.
The doomsday clock, a symbol of the estimated likelihood of a human-made global catastrophe, has advanced to 85 seconds until midnight. Scientists are citing risks of nuclear war, climate change, and the increased use of artificial intelligence as threats to human existence. Last year, the clock stood at 89 seconds to midnight. The group of atomic scientists behind the clock say it can be turned back if leaders and nations work together to address the risks.
You know what's the most you're gonna get out of them? Like, it's 5 minutes to midnight. And it'll always be a tool just for people to share on Facebook and go, look, the scientists said that we're getting closer. We better start listening to the climatologists. And then people don't. And then people don't. And we're gonna continue to do what we do. And that's fine. That's fine because humanity is humanity. North Korea is also signaling the expanded nuclear deterrent plans. North Korea leader Kim Jong-un has also announced that the upcoming Party Congress will unveil plans to strengthen the country's nuclear deterrent force, underscoring the regime's priorities on military capability. I'm excited for it. It's going to be great. UK PM Keir Starmer visits China to boost the economic ties. Yeah, of course he would. He's not popular among a lot of people. Apparently, his favorite food is curried salmon. I didn't know that. He began to visit China, aimed at encouraging British businesses to pursue opportunities in the Chinese market. If they want to be state-owned, of course. A lot of growing European backlash against the Trump-linked World Cup controversy. Calls are rising in Europe to boycott the 2026 FIFA World Cup due to its association with U.S. President Donald Trump and the controversies over ticket prices. I don't watch soccer, so I don't care. South Korea's former First Lady has been sentenced for corruption. In Seoul, the court sentenced South Korea's former First Lady, Kim Kyun-hee, to 20 months in prison on corruption charges. Yeah, she deserves it, maybe. Democrats also demand a dismissal of DHS Secretary over immigration violence. The top House Democrats have issued an ultimatum to the president to fire Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem or face impeachment proceedings. Good move. She should be impeached. In my personal view, I think that her rhetoric around the situations has been ridiculous. I think that her I know she's a mouthpiece. I know that DHS was never going to be, no matter who we have at the forefront, I don't know that they're going to be operating the way that we want them to, but she's just not a good PR person. She's not good for public relations. Tim Walz. We have a Tim Walz edit that we're going to play for you, ladies and gentlemen, because admittedly, it sorrows my heart that he will not be our next governor. It sorrows my heart that he has given up on his run for a third term. I don't think that he would have won it, but admittedly, it's just sad to see him give up. It's like watching, I don't know. It's like watching like a fatherly figure be upset. Like, oh man, that's really like that's wow. I never expected to see you low, but now I've seen you low, and now it's like watching Zeus cry. You know what I mean? And he was a fatherly figure, man. He hugged the kids when he gave them free lunches, and that's the clip everybody shares. So, in honor of probably my favorite governor in my lifetime, except for Jesse Ventura, but admittedly he left office when I was less than a few months old. So, in honor of my favorite governor of my home state in my lifetime, this is for you, Governor Tim Walz. Enjoy.
I've become friends with school shooters. I've seen it. I've not been perfect, and I'm a knucklehead at times, but it's... And I plan on waking up on November 6th with Madam President. Let's go! Elon's on that stage, jumping around, skipping like a dipshit. I'd never seen this before. People driving by my house and using the R word.
It's not a question, but a lesson learned in time. It's certain unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time.
Replacing the flag.
There, that's better.
Yeah. I'll miss you, Tim. You will be missed. I hope you know that. You never came on my show. but that's perfectly fine. Maybe after you leave the governor's residence and you come up to hide in northern Minnesota, you can come on the show. It would be beautiful. Our final headline will cover European leaders are calling for a greater defense of independence from the U.S. In Paris, EU leaders are stressing the strengthening of European defense capability should be top priority to reduce the dependence on U.S. military support. Good luck. You all rely on us in order to defend the ways of the sea. The United States Navy, European Navy can't comprehend the size. You know what I mean? You have how many aircraft carriers? Oh yeah, we have 12, and it's about to be 14. Sorry to say it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a final headline we're going to cover. It's maybe not the most fun to cover, but we're going to because that's what we got to do. So let's hop right into it. What is Falun Gong, Dragon Springs, New York, and the Shen Yun Performance Group, ladies and gentlemen? If you're not familiar, CBS News has highlighted a potential cult hiding in the wooded zones of upstate New York. What is this? Folks, if you don't know what Falun Gong is, also known as Falun Dafa, it is a spiritual discipline that has emerged out of China during around the 1990s, like the early half. It began as a popular health-oriented exercise group. It eventually became a target of the target of the Chinese Communist Party. One of the most intense and sustained crackdowns that they've had has been on the practicers of Falun Gong. It was founded in 1992 by Li Hongzhi. The practice combines slow, meditative kind of exercises. You see the videos where they do stretches and they kind of go down their own body. And then they cover moral philosophy centered around 3 core tenets: truthfulness, compassion, and forbearance, It involves 5 sets of exercises, including sitting meditation. Practitioners believe that these movements refine the body's energy. They promote physical, mental well-being. It became eventually controversial. Initially, the Chinese government supported Falun Gong for its perceived health benefits and the low cost to the state. However, the relationship began to be viewed as not beneficial to the CCP. And eventually, it was estimated that there were between 70 to 100 million practitioners of this kind of thing. The number famously exceeded the party's own membership at the time, so that's kind of what made them nervous. The CCP, ideologically, they're very wary of any large and independent organization outside of their direct control. Falun Gong, it had the ability to mobilize a lot of people. And also, they had a massive protest outside of a leadership compound in 1999. It alarmed the party leadership. They realized, oh shit, we gotta maybe worry about. We don't want spiritualism to challenge our Marxist-Leninist materialism that we have going on in our country. The then leader, Jiang Zemin, also reportedly saw the movement as a personal challenge to his authority. He used the crackdown to consolidate power and test the loyalty of the party's security apparatus. In July 1999, the CCP officially banned Falun Gong, labeling it a heretical cult. And what followed was a nationwide campaign of suppression that continues to this day. And suppression not in cute ways. I mean that they have this thing famously known as the rack, where they would kidnap particularly women. They would just be in the middle of the night. They would grab these women that were found practicing Falun Gong, and this thing, it's shaped like a cross, where essentially they put your arms and your legs in it, and then the cross is designed to move in ways to stretch your spine and contort your bones and shit, and they use this on multiple people who practice this. Well, essentially, for 2 decades, these people have been looking to hide in diasporas from the CCP. They've been looking to, find ways to practice their yoga and their yogiisms away from the control of the CCP. And in order to do so, they came to the United States and established this little den that I'm going to show you here. And if you want to watch it, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave it in the description so that you can take a look at it for yourself. But, we're going to watch this together and we're going to react.
Deep in the woods of New York, behind guarded gates, lies a vision of ancient China reborn.
What is this place? It's another world, and for us, it's like a sanctuary.
This private sanctuary is Dragon Springs, 400 acres where faith and art share the same stage. It is the creative center of Shenyun, the epic stage production of Chinese history, legends, and politics.
We are putting on stage the tyranny of the CCP.
Ying Chen is a vice president and conductor with Shenyun, and the CCP is the Chinese Communist Party. It calls the group behind the show an evil cult.
Interesting.
Known as Falun Gong, it's a spiritual movement rooted in Buddhism.
Use the rotation of the Falun to rectify all abnormal conditions of the human body.
That's founder Li Hongzhi, demonstrating Falun Gong's meditation exercises. He started teaching the practice in 1992. Falun Gong spread quickly throughout China, and Beijing responded.
China today banned a popular religious group that's been challenging communist rule.
The government now considers Falun Gong its public enemy number one.
Ying Chen says practitioners were imprisoned and tortured, including her own family.
My mom and...
In all honesty, I think that America needs to do something similar to yoga instructors. I don't think yoga is beneficial. I think that it's actively making the population more unhealthy. I have this grand theory that these ponytailed weirdos are attempting to feminize the population. I'm getting real Rush Limbaugh with this one. They're attempting to feminize the United States population.
My brother was sent to a labor camp, and he endured 18 months of agony, and his survival was a fragile miracle. He was literally tortured every single day.
Founder Li Hongzhi settled in the U.S. and in 2006 launched Shenyun. It would ask much of his followers, including Jeff's son and Ashley Cheng.
Li Hongzhi made it quite clear that Shenyun was the highest form of how practitioners can support the movement.
Now married, Sun and Cheng both grew up in Falun Gong families. We spoke with them from their home in New Zealand. Their parents sent them in the late 2000s to a boarding school at Dragon Springs, where young performers train for Shenyun.
The entire community I grew up in was very proud of me. They thought it was a great honor to live with Li Hongzhi in that compound.
As if, I made it to Harvard.
He was 15. She was 13. Nearly 9,000 miles from home.
Everything was very isolated, and our main job is to dance.
What were you told about having any contact with the world outside of Dragon Springs?
If our parents asked any questions, we had to tell them that we were happy, that Master, which is Li Hongzhi, was taking great care of us.
The reality, Sun and Cheng claim, was they were part of a group of child laborers, living in constant fear.
I was in survival mode. It's about not exceeding 100 pounds every day. It's about following the footsteps of the person in front of me so I don't get yelled out of line.
There's no one we can talk to, the adults there, who are your educators, but also your persecutors. You want to speak how you feel to them, but the next day you get told that you're thinking different to everybody else, that you are the problem.
That was the weight of the
Did you ever consider that you were the problem? I'm kidding.
Mind. The body, they say, would bear its own.
2 kids gonna push my legs open in the side split, and it was the most amount of pain I ever experienced, ever. I had internal bleeding. My entire inside of my legs, both legs, was purple. But every day I still had to do the same thing.
Because they were trying to make you great. Don't you understand? Dancing is not for the weak. And I think that a lot of people don't need I think we need more of these camps. I think we need more of these camps in order to get kids. Because you see kids, they get enrolled in ballerina courses, they get enrolled in the what's it called? The little things by their parents so that they can be like, all right, yeah, me and your dad are finally gonna get, a night alone so that you can go and do this for a half hour or whatever. So listen, I think that you need to, if people really want to dance, they need to understand that it is Abby Lee Miller. You're going to be broken down emotionally because they want to make you great. And I think that you need to embed that in the kids' minds early, that either this is for you or it's not. And it's clear that it was not for these people because they sound too weak.
Order was stretched for an abnormal amount of time. once and I lost all feeling in it. So I had issues from showering to going to the bathroom.
Did you ever tell your instructors about your injuries?
Yeah, I did. And I was faced with the eye roll. I have not had or seen a single pill of medicine during my entire duration.
Sun and Cheng are part of a growing group of former dancers contending that medical care was discouraged, a belief they say is rooted in Falun Gong teachings.
That is true. They discourage
that you have,
medicine.
If you mention that you want to go to the hospital or if you wanted help, it will be denied. And it will be quickly, very quickly associated to you got injured because you disobeyed Li Hongji.
It is your fault.
It is your fault.
In 2015,
Could
they
it
were
be?
kicked out of Shenyun. Last spring,
Think about it.
they sued, one of 2 federal lawsuits against the performance group alleging forced labor. Jeff, I can see the emotion in your face. I wonder what it's like to relive this right now.
He's like, don't call me out, bitch. I'm allowed to feel.
Every time I think about what happened to me, and it kind of breaks me apart, and nobody deserves this.
Well, I would agree with that. And I would also say the practitioners of Falun Gong, they do not deserve the CCP engaging in the forced harvesting of organs from detained Falun Gong practitioners. The CCP will deny that claim, but it has been corroborated by several international human rights tribunals. I just want to let everybody know that they routinely will grab practitioners of this little thing and they will harvest their organs by force. It's pretty awesome. It's not fun. I talked about this literally last episode. How in China they'll do it.
We're all kids, We wanted to impress our parents. We wanted to do what we thought was right.
We asked Shenyun about these allegations, and they invited us into Dragon Springs. It's totally quiet in here. What's happening right now? Spokeswoman Ying Chen showed us around.
It's a little bit like praying. We settle down our minds and try to purge distracting thoughts. And just stay really focused.
I noticed that the men and women are sitting on opposite sides.
We have very conservative values in the school, so they usually keep them separate.
Well, that's good. What's the issue with dividing a school by sex? You know what I mean? You don't need the kids doing that kind of stuff. They don't need that.
Media to come into Dragon Springs until today. Why have you agreed to allow us to come in?
I think part of it is because they talk about a compound. Does it look like a compound?
Kind of
I think
does.
it's true that we work hard. This is a place that provides top-level dance training. And also it's a faith-based community.
The plaintiffs allege that while here, they were not allowed to get the medical attention they may have needed.
I cannot speak to what they went through. I just find it very shocking and very different from...
I cannot speak to what they went through. All I can say is we really care about our student here. I love her. She's a queen because she refuses to let you label her. She refuses to let outsiders call them what they are. And I love that about her.
Is that provides top-level dance training. And
Top
also
level.
It's a faith-based community.
The plaintiffs allege that while here, they were not allowed to get the medical attention they may have
They were not allowed to be
I cannot
pussies.
speak to what they went through. But I just find it very shocking and very different from the practice here and our policies here.
Do you believe the Chinese government is behind these lawsuits?
These lawsuits emerged at a time when Beijing escalated its global campaign against Shenyun. It's really hard to see it as a mere coincidence.
They're not wholly
Just
wrong.
This month, the Chinese embassy called Shenyun a cult's propaganda, using culture as a cover to deliver indoctrination.
The CCP has been trying to sabotage us since day one. We've got death threats, bomb threats, and this tactic that they're using now is very similar to what they're using to persecute Falun Gong.
Shenyun company members Regina Dong, Shindy Kai, and Peter Huang were also sent as teenagers to Dragon Springs. Do you feel like your parents pressured you in any way to come here?
Not at all. Now, if they came and tried to drag me away, I wouldn't go.
Do you feel like you have had access to the proper medical attention that you needed?
Yes, for sure. When I was
Yes,
in
for
pain
sure.
in my Actually, it's a few years back. My company manager, she gave me the contact to our doctor. Had an MRI done. He said, okay, you have this. You should do blah, 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 blah.
Shindy, you said to me earlier that you never get sick. Do you think that your faith has helped you to not get sick?
I actually do think so. Because I almost find it strange sometimes. I'm like, usually I'm supposed to come down with like a flu, but never. And I think a lot of it has to do with the energy.
For Jeff's son and Ashley Chang, they returned to New Zealand and no longer practice Falun Gong. The Falun Gong describe you as disgruntled performers. How do you respond to that?
Sounds like it's kind of true.
Response for this. Yes, we're disgruntled. What happened to us was not our fault. We were children, and we've been living with the shame. And I don't want to live with it for the rest of my life.
You were the shame of not being good.
Is now looking into Shen Yun's working conditions and child labor practices.
Thank you.
Just as the show's 20th season goes on tour. Each year is a new show, but the final scene is always the same. A Chinese city on the edge of destruction until the Deus Ex Machina, a mystical being resembling Falun Gong founder Li Hongzhi, descends from the heavens to save the world.
Hell yeah.
But for now, the story of Shen Yun seems neither so simple, nor, perhaps, so sacred.
Yeah, man. I mean, what a fascinating story. Everybody's welcome to look into it. Falun Gong is a fascinating thing because I see both sides of it. I go, of course, the CCP is horrible and they suppress actual legit things. They suppress Christianity over there. But, I'm not in favor of the barbaric practices against children. So you're left in a bit of a tough spot. Do you agree with, or you can just have a nuanced take. You don't have to agree with either of them, which is what I'm going to do, and I encourage a lot of people to. But make your own opinion. Folks, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I had such a fun time putting these stories together for you. It was a great time for me. I hope you enjoyed yourself. We'll be back at it again with Thursday's broadcast, Monday through Friday. You know how we do it. Subscribe if you want more, like if you liked it. Ring the bell so you get the notifications. And that's pretty much it for me. This has been Ollie Vogt Larson with your Brain on Air. Thank you so much for listening, and bye-bye.